Malakai Black and Cody Rhodes and so much news, and we're talking about it. We're taking your questions. It's right to Rambles, yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Kev Kellum. Over there in Sacktown, Sacramento, California, is one Mr. Nick Harkson. I'm Kevin Kellum here in Chicago, the greatest wrestling city in the world. I'll say it. We can argue about it. Backstage Pass, we have a lot of information to jump in there as well, and we're going to get to all of it. We're going to talk about Malakai Black. What is his status? Is he leaving AEW for WWE? People are debating that. We'll get into it. We have quotes from him. We have quotes from Backstage Pass. WrestleVotes new episode just dropped. By the way, WrestleVotes is the big scooperoonie of all wrestling right now. The scooperoonie, not the spinneroonie, scooperoonie. That is going on. So if you're with us right now here at the beginning of the show, thank you so much. I want you to jump into the conversation below. I want you to ask us about wrestling stuff. If we don't get to it in the first few minutes, we're going to do it in the final segment. So if you can't watch the whole show, you can watch there at the end and make sure your question got answered. And we'll do that. Of course, super chats, jump to the front of the line. Hit the like button. Let's make this thing pop off. All right. The real world is fake. Wrestling is real. All right. That's what we're jumping into here. I know there's a lot of real world stress stuff. We're not talking about that because that's faker than wrestling. All right. So we're going to slam that like button. All right. And we're going to get into it here. Let's get into this exclusive news we have from Backstage Pass. You guys can get that right now. That show is my favorite thing. It drops right before we're live every episode. I have to listen to it myself as well. You can get the free day trial, the free week-long trial, by the way, and then try it out for a week and see if you like it. All right, so you can go try this episode out for free yourself. And there's some free content that we drop on there as well. $5 a month, though. You get WrestleVotes Radio every single week. You get a Q&A with WrestleVotes behind the scenes. You get Jared Briscoe and JBL doing a show. You have the Coach and the Bro show. We got to pitch them something that we can put behind the premium wall, right, Nick?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have to. It's such a great show. I mean, we got to shout them out. So everybody go check it out if you haven't.
Link for that, by the way, is in the description as well. If you guys are checking us out here on the podcast, whatever. Thank you for the podcast side of things as well. Listening on the audio side of stuff. So let's jump right into it. The huge Cody Rhodes news that broke today with WrestleVotes. What is the latest, Nicholas?
Well, according to WrestleVotes, this is a quoted little paragraph here from them. They say, we were able to ask a few sources, and all those sources had the same response, that there are no plans in the foreseeable future to remove the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes. We had sources say that the company is in love with him being the face of WWE the same way John Cena was, as that white meat babyface everybody can get behind, that especially kids and families can get behind. So no immediate future to get the belt off of him. With that said, we're hearing that with WrestleMania, if WWE decides to go Rock and Roman one-on-one, then Cody Rhodes will feature in the alternate main event the next night or night one, whatever the opposite night is. And, assuming that Rock and Roman is the plan for night 2 or night 1, look to have Cody Rhodes be very heavily involved, just pretty much the main focus of that night, because he's been doing a lot for the company and they are going to reward him still. But no immediate plans to remove the belt from him. I think that it's probably the right move. There isn't another clear, there's baby faces in WWE, but they said it perfectly, like John Cena, that superhero figure, you can go and get his action figure. The kids love him. He can come and save the day. He's that type of guy.
Yeah, I think it's clear. The metrics are all there for the Cody cry against babies, like that crowd, and the people that are God bless you. Your names must all be Mark, because you don't look at the numbers here. It's not like there was this seismic. Everyone's saying there was this drop off in ratings after WrestleMania, and it's all because of Cody. And were you there? Did you hear the pop? Did you not see the story get completed? And everyone's saying he's not no. Biases and preferences are not analytics. Okay, biases and preferences are not a consensus of opinion. All right, the loud minority is not the louder than majority. All right. And if you, especially in America and Canada, you can see it. You go to a WWE live event, Cody is not like a John Cena heel, or like where he's just a heel to the dudes, and then just the kids and the women love Cody. No, there's dudes who show up for him that are in the prime demographic. The kids love Cody. The kids love Cody. All right. Children watching wrestling under the age of 18, if you ask them who their favorite wrestlers are, they're going to say a handful of names, and Cody Rhodes is going to be on that list. Yeah. So that means something to a family of 4. And for guys who are like me, Cody's a guy we followed for a long time. People that made that leap back to WWE, they were watching AEW. You've seen those people in the past year or two. They followed Cody. Yep. And it's kind of clear. This isn't a shot at Roman. The story ran its course. Roman having the title ran its course, and they're finding another way to make it interesting and Roman pursue something. If Cody gets a night of WrestleMania and Roman and Rock get a night of WrestleMania, what's the problem? That's that. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stories you can tell. There's still a lot of interesting stuff. If they give you Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes one night at WrestleMania and Rock versus Roman one night at WrestleMania, there's a lot there. There's a lot. Very, very cool stories that you can tie up and pay off with some big matches and some big moments there at the end. And I know everyone wants to do reverse booking and stuff like that. But my take is just Cody need to lose the belt. No, look at the numbers, man. There's the fact that you can do you brought up the European tour. You can do a WrestleMania Europe tour. They always did the European tour after WrestleMania, because they had this like, why we just came off WrestleMania. Let's roll with that somewhere else we're not usually at. Mind you, it's an international company. It's kind of seamless, and how much benefit has going out of the United States been for WWE recently? Saudi, it's a lot of money. But we saw Lyon, France, Backlash, all these international shows. Leaving the continental United States is smart. But you would think, Cody's not over. He is. The reactions are all there. Like, you can't ignore reality for the sake of your own personal narrative. You're wrong. like that's all it is. You're wrong. Ding a dong dong. You're wrong. All right. And you may prefer someone else, but that's the beautiful thing about wrestling. It isn't like I think Cody should have the title. It's my preferences. The numbers do not lie. like he's a draw. He sells merch. People are like, this guy sells merch. That's just one factor. Every little metric you want to talk about, he's the guy. Yeah. And he's what, 37, 38? Yeah. That's the window you're at. He's a guy who clearly earned it. But the fact that we're not even at the end of 2024, and I haven't said, the same people that were like, Cody needs to finish his story are now like, I'm done with it. I'm fickle with it. But none of you were like that with like 4 years of Roman. I knew many people were like that with Roman. We're like, get the belt off him already, right? Yeah. So like, I understand it. This is a question. Who's having a bigger slump now? The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my!
Lazy Boy Sports. Pull back on the couch. Lazy Boy Sports. I love the ticket there. Here we go. X Harry X. When do WWE European tickets come out for the UK for us UK fans? I don't know the exact question to that. But it's an interesting thing, and it's a sign that WWE's willing to pivot and do all these different things. The Netflix deal is huge. Mm-hmm. That's going to open them up to the fact that they're going to be live at all times, almost in every market where Netflix is. It's like over 70 markets in the world, countries. It's not just like individual cities and stuff like that. Countries, and I'm talking to people I know in the media world over in the UK, and they say the reason this tour is happening before WrestleMania is really to make that push and to get people to make the leap over to Netflix and watch it there.
Makes sense.
So slam the like, everyone, if you're watching. Let's click it, man. Let's really click it, super click it. Just hit the like. It really helps. I know it's an annoying internet thing and you're told about it redundantly, but for us on the content side of stuff, it really helps. What do you think? Is it time to take the belt off Cody?
I don't think so. I just don't think that there's another top face in WWE right now to
I don't see him. I don't see that person right now.
Yeah, not to take that role of Cody Rhodes. Yes, he could lose. I mean, he's definitely beatable. But
you need a beatable champion. You need a vulnerable champion. We had 4 years of Roman has his entire family basically helping him win every match. You had that type of champion. We have a fighting champion now.
Yeah.
All right. You need a fighting champion. We need a Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes.
All right. That's what we need.
Great example right there.
We need that's kind of what he's doing. All right.
Yep.
You had Roman also Roman can't be champion again for me, at least for the foreseeable future, because you did it. Like, what are you going to do with him as a champion that's going to be better than the last time he was champion? Is that fair? Like, you've just done it. If you guys agree with me on, like, I just think there's other stories you can tell with Roman that are more compelling than that. Alice with a really great take here. Alice, love this. Cody's booking sucks. Really, any of it's a cover for the lack of opponents. I mean, face Gunther twice. Haven't even put Rhodes against Cody. Punk is useless. Unsorry. Unsorry. Well, I don't think his booking sucks at all. I just think the booking, by the way, isn't so centralized to one person. With everything with Roman as the champion, everything was about him. Everything kind of revolved around him. And the bloodline is still, I think, the number one story. That's another thing I'll say about, if you guys, all the Roman people, Roman is still probably the most popular guy, but you just can't have him keep being the champion and not be there all the time. It doesn't fulfill the brand. He's not going to wrestle every week. He's not even going to be on TV to cut promos every week. You need a present champion. You need a full-time WWE champion. Cody may not wrestle every week, but he will be at the show. He will at least have a film thing. You don't even get pre-film stuff from Roman Reigns every week when he was champion. I mean, the last year and a half, 2 years of him being champion, it was all right. Well, the bloodline's here, and they can keep the storyline going for like weeks at a time. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I don't know how I think it's really hard to make him a babyface and do that, and he's just not there all the time if you just don't do a beatdown angle. So for me, I'm not saying the booking, Roman being a kind of like part of a multi-person storyline really helps because you kind of keep him in the mix, but just having the belt on him it would be redundant if he won at WrestleMania 40. It would have been really, really redundant and a real blow to things. It made sense at WrestleMania 39. The company just got bought. Let's keep the guy who's the guy. Roman doesn't need to be the guy anymore. And by that I mean the champion. He may be the guy in terms of like popularity, and he's across the board. Casuals, diehards love him. But if you have a preference to Roman having the title just so he has the title, it's kind of mute. It doesn't do anything for the title. It doesn't make a championship mean anything. The problem with Cody is his promos are boring, but he makes it up with his good matches, like Bret Hart having good storytelling. I don't mind that, but I also don't think every champion needs to have like the best promos. I don't think everyone on the microphone needs to be like The Rock or Stone Cold or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't have to be. I do think I'll say this.
His promos aren't that bad. I don't find them that bad. They're just not like catchphrasey or anything like that. Also, like Roman's promos are not about him. It's about the whole act and everybody around him.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say this about Cody's promos. I don't mind them. I think they're okay, but there's one thing I am fed up with Cody, and that is what do you want to talk about? I mean, I know that's his deal.
You don't like that?
I'm done with it.
I love it. I
think that it's just been going on for a while. I think that he could switch it up a little bit. I mean, I know that's his deal. So how are you going to switch it up? Because everybody's expecting him to say that. But I just know when he comes out there.
Is it any better than Acknowledge Me?
It's really not, I guess.
I mean, is it any better than that?
It's like, not. So, I'm not completely hating on it. I'm just saying if I had to nitpick something about
every Cody promo is the same. I don't know if every Cody promo is the same. He just does the story. Here's another reason why I think some people think promos are the same. He serves the story first. With Roman, it was the bold, everything must serve me, because he's so selfish, right? It's like his character was so selfish. So another thing is like Roman has been very limited in the amount of speaking roles he's had since he came back.
Very true.
And he's been they've hid that, because what are you going to have him say that doesn't make him come off like a narcissistic prick, which is what he played for a long time. And then people just loved it. Like they just loved how fucking like obsessed he was with himself. I'm sorry for swearing. But like he had that. Whereas Cody, yes, certainly is braggadocious, right? But he's for the people, valiant, always doing that. And we will take on this surmounting force that will come and make it a personal insult at us. He's a good guy.
He's a good
You know
guy.
what I mean? It's weird how like sentiments change. The Attitude Era was like this. The good guy, the real good guy, can't be the good guy anymore. We need an anti-hero. We need a bad guy who's a good guy. You know, it's all preferences. People asking about Malakai Black. We'll get into that. Big Malakai Black news. Malakai Black, what is his AEW status? A lot of mixed reports from Fightful Select about his status. Tip it. Can you tip the? I don't have the cap on. Can you tip your cap for me? Tip your cap for Malakai Black and all those people. So the story over there at Fightful, and so they're basically saying there's been some talk that he's on his way out of AEW. Now in 2022, these same type of things 2 years ago, burping. 2022, Tony Khan, president of AEW, was asked about this. Malakai Black had a history with WWE before, left them when he was under an NXT contract and got to leave earlier than they expected and show up in AEW in a big way when AEW, I think, was popping a little bit harder than they are now. And I wouldn't say he got lost in the shuffle, but AEW has so many people there. And he was in the House of Black faction, which was fun and exciting, but that kind of had its ebbs and flows. And then they kind of quickly put the storyline together with Adam Cole, who just came back himself, who still has a pending program with MJF. And this was kind of put together while Michael Cole has this other plate to spin over here. Quickly, let's spin a plate over here with Malakai Black, with Adam Cole. And they did a match on AEW Dynamite, and they really hunkered down on Malakai Black has always defeated Adam Cole. They've never had a match where history from NXT. Am I there?
You're there now. You're back.
Okay, sorry. Did I pop out for a second?
For about 2 seconds.
I'm sorry. I didn't plan on that. So another thing with all this is they have this great match. Adam Cole wins. They're kind of alluding to like something, and like some people reading the tea leaves a certain way, and then Malakai Black hugs him, doesn't shake his hand, and the people think this is a write-off, right? Did you get to see any of it and think it was a write-off? What did you think?
I kind of got a little bit of the feeling. I was like, okay, this might be it. Maybe it's time that he's leaving. It was interesting. I'll say that when that happened, I was like, oh, what's going on here? But I don't know. It could go either way. It wasn't completely obvious. You know what I mean? It's very open right now.
More clarification on this directly from the source. Now, Tony Khan said, oh no, we have him into like 2025 or 2020, like well past, like for a while, but those were option years. So that's to be determined. Is the option for him to be able to take on those years, or is the option for AEW to say that we're keeping you? You know what I mean? So there's option years on a contract. Now, some people claim that he may have been retiring. He was dealing with some type of injury. I heard this as well. So that's another element. But he's gone on the record and clarified this. A post on social media, a video. He says, I'm not injured, nor am I retiring, nor am I leaving. I haven't been injured in more than 3 years. I would really appreciate it if that stuff stops, man. If I'm going to retire, you're going to hear it from me and not after Adam cuts a promo just as a thank you for that match. That's all it was. And of course, his contract is expected to expire or believed to expire within this year or in early 2025. And some people think his social media in general indicated that he was leaving, making it unclear. Now he's saying he's not leaving. Is he not leaving wrestling? So some people have interpreted it that way. Is he not retiring? So I don't know.
Very vague.
It's certainly vague. But this is him throwing water on it, But I'm also of the thought, like, if he was going back to WWE, and Tony Khan has already done this, he's made it the protocol. He did this with the Lucha Brothers. He would do everything in his power to make sure that guy cannot just leave the company and go right back there. Whether that's a 90-day non-compete, whether that's taking injury time and adding it to the end of a contract to delay this. What he would do it, all right, and he would do it quietly and say, like, all right, well, you don't have to wrestle, but you're not going to wrestle in WWE. I paid you all this money, and I'm going to roll over some time in this contract. Sorry, but here you're going to get some more money, and just here's the money you're going to get to not just go have a Royal Rumble appearance,
right?
So that's, to me, it's like I'm I'm acknowledging it way too much. Effing drama. Thank you, Alice. I appreciate it.
Nice.
People asking what's happening with Cody. Rewind to the beginning of the show. Cody Rhodes is not losing the WWE Championship. That's the plan.
Yeah, basically.
And so other people talking about that here. So what do you think of this Malakai Black situation? Does he go back to WWE? I don't think it's that simple.
I don't think it's that simple either. And I think you made it, you made a great point there at the end that Tony will do everything in his power just to have you not make an appearance, even if that means you're not wrestling on their show as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going on right here, because Malakai Black is a great talent.
If you're not wrestling for me and I'm paying you, and I know that what you're going to try and do.
Yeah. There's been
people saying we need to do a show with WrestleVotes. You need to check out the show with WrestleVotes.
Yes.
It's you can get the free trial right now. If you just want to try us out on Patreon, go get the Sportskeeda Wrestling Backstage Pass, lazy boy, and go get it. Just go try it out. It's really, really good. It's like I think WrestleVotes has these insights into the business that are not biased at all and are really based on what is actually happening in the business, what the creative people, what the corporate people, where they meet in the middle, and not just in WWE, most of it in WWE. I think a lot of his sources tend to be there, at least from what I see in his reporting, but also kind of having an insight on how these people are competing with each other.
Yep.
Back to Malakai Black and all that stuff. I think with Malakai, I think AEW needs to keep him. I don't think they're in a position right now to lose more talent.
Right.
I don't think there's this, like, I know everyone's saying there's this big exodus of people from AEW back to WWE. I don't think WWE's looking to sign everyone.
Not everybody.
Nope. And especially not with things like the NIL program, the next in line, college athletes, the NXT, where NXT is currently with the teams they have there, and with the ID program, which talking to more people I know of the ID program, there is much more sentiment of it being a disruptor in a big way for other wrestling promotions. So I mean, not just independent wrestling promotions. I mean, big televised, time. You want to get a contract into the promotions.
Yeah.
So a lot going on here. But Malakai Black, though, I think if he leaves AEW and he is available to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that could be.
If he's available to TNA Wrestling.
Yep.
If he's available to CML or AAA, and like he would be a big star. He would be a big international star. If he can go back to his old name, Aleister Black or Tommy End, he would be an attraction. He could go hit the independent circuit and make a lot of money. Some guys in AEW have done that. They've been able to wrestle some matches, and that's been AEW's been like, hey, we're the wrestler company. You've been seeing them do a lot less of that, depending on who the talents are, right? But with him, I could see him doing that. He's had some matches outside of All Elite Wrestling here and there, but very few. I could see him going that route before immediately going back to WWE. Just my take. And I have no source in that. This is me being purely speculative.
That's a good speculation right there.
Mm-hmm.
And just back to Tony not wanting him to leave. I think we all know Malakai Black, Aleister Black, when he was in NXT, he's a Triple H guy. So they have a good connection there. So
the WWE he left is way different than the WWE he can come back to.
Exactly. So
and I keep saying that to people. Like, there's a lot of people I know that ask me, "Oh, you're the Chicago wrestling guy. Why did CM Punk come back to the company's a completely different company than the one he? I mean, it has everything. It has all the legacy that he's tied to.
Right.
There's just a lot there. But also, I think WWE is pretty crowded right now. There's. I mean, what spot are you going to come back into? You're not going to come back in and be a top guy. You maybe would come back to a WWE where you'd be playing a lower tier role. And mind you, he wasn't top of the card in AEW.
And he's another dark character too. And there's a lot of those.
He's another dark character. They have a lot of like similar toned characters. So they have White Six. They have Final Testament with Karrion Kross too, right?
Yeah.
So. Oh, dude, like him and like Alec, he goes back. He's Aleister Black, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do you put him in with those guys? Do you like just drop him into that like storyline?
I mean, that'd be a good spot.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun. He'd do all the spooky stuff. He would have fun with the spookies.
It would be fun.
Yeah. So wrestling, very, very turbulent times here. Want to try and tease you guys here as well for the people. Is that a Lions hat?
Yes,
Lions
sir. Hat? Yes. Lazy Boy Sports. It is a Lions hat. I'm a diehard Detroit Lions fan.
Mm-hmm. Get your questions in. We'll before we sign up, wrap up here. We'll do questions. We'll answer whatever wrestling queries you have about things here. Nathaniel Crenshaw getting us going here, and we'll get yours in here. We'll get some comments in here. I see some as well. Nailed eye. Rock pinning Cody again would be a disaster. I don't think you're going to see that, by the way. You bring that up, of course, Cody had that scenario with The Rock right after WrestleMania 41. The Rock pinned him on night 1 of WrestleMania 41, and then Cody got to beat Rock's guy, Roman, for the title on night 2. So that's some unfinished business. You have unfinished business. Many people think a third match between Roman and Cody is still possible. I agree. WrestleMania 42 in Vegas is not a set deal, but there's a lot of compelling different angles they could go with it right now. It's kind of interesting to see how it plays out. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited. There is so many different angles. You don't know what you're going to get yet. I mean, we are expecting, something. Definitely Cody Rhodes is going to main event tonight. You expect The Rock to be there. But that's the best part about this right now in wrestling is that there is a lot of different storylines and things could turn in the blink of an eye right now to switch up something by the time WrestleMania comes. I do think we see, Rock versus Roman there on a WrestleMania night and all that. But I'm excited. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan. It has been for a while now, and I just
there's a balance in the stories.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's verging on being convoluted where like Cody has too many different things going on, right?
Yeah.
But they balance it in the sense of you're the champion, everyone's going to go for you. You're like, so like they have that, but there's personal convictions and everything. I have this question here from speaking of multiple storylines. Burping again. He goes, Nathaniel says, "Do you guys think Rock beats Cody? Rock beats Cody on Netflix debut." Kevin. The Rock's going to be involved with something with the Netflix debut. Before we even get to Netflix, and we're 6 weeks out from this, we have Survivor Series in a few weeks. That'll be the next big thing. You see the kind of big War Games match. That'll be Bloodline versus OG Bloodline. They got to do some work because I thought the Crown Jewel 6-man match was underwhelming. I thought it was fun. It was more of an elaborate angle. And it was more the things at the end that happened after it than the match itself.
Yes.
I thought some of it was kind of plotting and like didn't have the pace that felt great. I expected more from it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it underdelivered, but it certainly didn't feel like it was roaring. The angle after the match was way better than the match. And I think the match needed to culminate and then we get an angle. I didn't feel the culmination. So I think they have some work to do there. But that doesn't mean they're not going to do it. I mean, they could go out and have a War Games match. It isn't as good as stuff they did before, and people still want to see it, but is it going to deliver on the expectation? I think that's fair. I don't know if The Rock beats Cody before Netflix. I think that's something you save for WrestleMania. If he beats him. I could see another beatdown angle on the debut on Netflix. And before you even get to Netflix, you have the big NBC TV special. December 14th, Saturday night's main event. I can see The Rock getting involved in that.
Rhodes.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to swerve us and really take the belt off him and put it on Kevin Owens, that's the spot to do that. And it would be an interesting time. But with the Netflix debut, Cody's keeping that belt. Cody's keeping that belt well into 2025. That's kind of the way I see it. I'm sticking with the Backstage Pass report from WrestleVotes, by the way. But I think Rock will be involved with NBC because that'll be a big push to get to Netflix, get a lot of casual eyeballs on it, and then culminate in some type of showdown between Rock and Cody, maybe Roman involved on the Netflix debut. John Cena's there. That's going to be they're going to do a bunch of big angles on that show.
Oh yeah.
And the idea is to get a lot of casual people that haven't watched wrestling while to jump in, and here's an angle. Here's a big name. Here's an angle. Here's a match we're building to. The debut show on Netflix will not have a ton of payoffs. Maybe a big title change, lower card stuff, but it'll have a bunch of big angles to launch you into Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber. We're building. Wow, that just started, right? It'll be the spark of big storylines being either reignited or starting off. So that's what I think is going to happen. And I think Rock, and maybe The Rock beats down and he's going to beat him on the debut. If The Rock had a match on the Netflix debut, that would be a wild way to do it, but it would be more of an angle than a match, So
yeah,
those are
I agree
100%.
100%.
Those are my takes. I want to get into the questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Christine, I want to get this one from Christine. Kevin, why can't WWE arrange a match of CM Punk and Seth Rollins?
I think it's coming.
I'll let you answer that first, Nick. I'm talking a mile a minute here.
You're good, dude. You've got a lot of great ideas. You're spewing today. You're doing great. I think
this isn't beer. This is this is caffeine.
That's the Mountain Dewski.
Dewski, brother.
Yeah, I think eventually, it's going to end up there, and I don't think it's going to be much longer. They had to do the payoff or not the payoff, but they had to end the angle with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. Bronson Reed put him on the shelf. They made Bronson Reed look strong. So you had to go there, but I do think that sooner than later, we will see Seth Rollins and CM Punk clash. They've been teasing that for a long time now.
Long years.
So
years.
I think that would be
before Punk came back. 2019, I brought up this interview all the time. It's the biggest thing I've done in wrestling media. Is interview Seth Rollins in a sit-down interview. WWE takes a clip of it and puts it on the WWE network, which I only found out about like a half an hour before we filmed it that they were going to film anything. And I found out immediately after the interview that they were going to use it. Immediately we walk in the hallway and they're like, yeah, we're getting that. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Great. Oh,
nice.
And in that interview, this is with Q101 in Chicago, the radio station I work with. Seth calls him out. This is when Punk's really running down the company and he's doing backstage. He did the WWE backstage show on Fox, right? And he was brought in as a consultant on that show, like an analyst on the Fox Sports show. And, Rollins was against that, and they were going back and forth on Twitter. And Rollins basically said, hey, dude, you couldn't cut it in UFC. You're talking all this. And in it, he kind of says, well, he says he's not wrestling. I say that to Rollins. And Rollins goes, yeah, sure. He's not building to a wrestling return. And he did. A year later, he got back in the ring and did AEW and did the opposition thing, and then found his way back in the company. So, Rollins has his take, but Punk has his take as well, of that you are a guy I helped make, which is 100% true.
Yes, it is.
The Shield, the pitch of the Shield is something Punk was at the table for, and Punk was involved in putting the Shield together because the Shield's original premise was a mercenary goon squad that protects CM Punk. They were going to be his bloodline.
Wow. Yep.
So, and I saw that debut, and that's how they were presented. Some of you guys need to not forget that. So Punk has his take, right? And they certainly seem like in the same interview, Rollins just cut ahead of it and just told me, I want a match with him at WrestleMania. We're going to do this. Let's do it. That was Survivor Series 2019. Pandemic, AEW run, injuries, all these different things. Rollins reinvents himself probably 4 times since then, right?
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of different time and tumultuous stuff in there. 5 years is a long time.
Very long.
And we thought we were going to get this match last year, but the Drew thing came together. That was organic and really special and great for Drew. Great for Drew. He may have lost, but he's a bigger star. And when he comes back, it's gonna be cool, right? So, but I do think a Rollins Punk match is a WrestleMania match. Now, is it a WrestleMania main event?
Oh, it
That's
definitely
what Punk wants. That's what Punk wants. He wants the last match on WrestleMania. That's what he wants.
Well,
that's what I hear. That's what you all hear.
If it's going to be that, there's got to be a title on the line. I think. Not necessarily.
I don't know. I don't
match.
Yeah, I don't know if it needs a title. And I think there's other people that can benefit from the titles. Cody can benefit from having a title match with someone else, like a Kevin Owens or a Rock or a Roman. Gunther can benefit from having a title match with a John Cena or Goldberg. Or something like that. So just personal issues. Get it in the ring.
It's great, but is it?
And then it's kind of a rehash of what he did with Drew. like personal issues get in the ring, like that type of stuff. But also, like, you see people go like, ooh, when they get together, you see that, ooh, they don't like each other. Two guys I know, personal issues.
It's main event worthy 100%, but I just don't know the company will put that over a Roman versus Rock or a Cody Rhodes.
We got some California questions here. Damon Schiss, rocking that Oakland Ace.
Yes.
He goes, Nick, you're from the 916. Have you ever ate at Roma's Pizzeria? I'm sorry, they have pizza in California?
We have pizza out here. And I've lived in Chicago. I can say the Chicago pizza is superior. I'm sorry to the California.
You bet. Come on now. Let's get back.
I'm not gonna, I can't.
Let's reel it in here, pal.
Yeah,
all right.
But
let's reel it in.
Roma's. I've never been to Roma's. I
want a fish taco. I'll trust somebody from California. All right, you know what I mean. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but come on.
Yeah, we'll show you where the good Mexican food's at. But I mean, not saying that Chicago doesn't have it. Chicago has amazing food. I love Chicago.
Best food city in America.
It is. But
we know how to get fat, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna try out Roma's. I actually was looking for a new pizza spot. So Damon, thank you so much for bringing this up. What would you give it out of a 5-star? Where's Roma's rank?
It's up there, right?
It's up there. It's got to be, but
Kevin's spewing something for sure. I was spewing. Let me sneak this one in here. I got to sign off real soon. I got to jump over to an interview here. Hey, Kevin, when do you think Adam Copeland comes back, and do you think he wins the TNT Championship? I think they got to pull the trigger and put him in the world title program. I know he has some unfinished business with, they do the Malakai Black thing with him as well. But he's an older guy, and the time with him is limited in terms of how he can perform at that level. He's coming back from another serious injury. He's done it before. He says he gives Roma a 2. I tried Roman number 2. I give it a 2. I think Edge has got to come back. Adam Copeland. He's got to come back and be in the world title program. They need big stars at the top. They need big names that are familiar at the top. And they need to reboot at the top. MJF is just not there all the time. I'm not saying he can't be a star, but you need present champions on television. You need big stars on television. They have stars that are on the rise. You have John Moxley. I think Moxley versus Copeland is a big match they haven't done. Yeah, so I think there's something to be done for that. And if Moxley's group really beats down another AEW guy, who can come back and take on the you think like that's cool. That's what I would do.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. Really appreciate it. And you can help us out by simply hitting the like button. Hit the like button. Go over to Backstage Pass. Get the news on Cody Rhodes, all that good stuff. Get the free day trial. Also, before we sign off, I do want to shout out Dutch Mantel. Dutch Mantel, our great friend here at Sportskeeda. He is going through a really, really tough time. We have linked in the chat to his GoFundMe and how you can donate. There's been a lot of different issues in his family all at once, medical related, things with the hurricane that are all happening to him. And I really, really hope I got to work with Dutch in his first time back here and a handful of times. He's such a pleasure to work with. He's one of the best people I've met in wrestling, and he just needs our help right now. The link for the GoFundMe is in the chat. Go donate. Google it, Dutch Mantel GoFundMe. Make sure you're donating to the right one as well. Make sure that's the assured source as well. I know there's scam artists and just total sleaze bags out there. But do it. Yeah, prayers up for Dutch. Thank you guys so much. Please give him whatever help you can. And it doesn't have to be huge. Every little bit counts. So definitely jump in there and pass it along. Spread the love. Be good to each other. Remember, when watching wrestling, please do the most important thing, which is what?
Enjoy wrestling.
Damn right.